What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down what's going on with the market this far, what you should be watching for as time progresses, and also some very important supports as we're seeing some more weakness on SPY. But before I break down all this information, before I talk about some very important things to be watching for in the markets and how the charts are looking, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. So I just want to call out that SPY is not looking that great right now. We saw this thing essentially drop when we opened because of CPI being a little bit hotter. It was specifically core CPI at 3.9% versus the 3.7% expectation. So the market gapped down, right? SPY was very close to this 494 area. And I told everyone we have to close above this. We have to hold this for this thing to have life. And we did bounce off of this, try to get back up to about 496. And SPY got a nice rejection, started to slowly drop. And eventually we ended up losing 494 and we're all the way back down to about 491 right now. So we're just barely holding the support down here. This is based off the historical chop zone we had previously. And this is important because now that SPY is at that level, we're just barely holding up. So it's not looking too good. It's favoring the bears a lot more. We're going to be watching 490 as a critical support to see if we can try to close above that. We'll be watching this chop zone very, very carefully because that's where SPY currently is. Now, for tomorrow, I just want to call out that we have more data coming out. In the morning, we have a lot of Fed speakers. We have just a bunch of them throughout the day, especially Barr and Bostic. And besides that, we have some very, very minor pieces of uh, the PPI, excluding food and energy and trade month over month coming out, some expectations for PPI, and then we actually have the official report coming out on Friday. So we actually have expectations coming out for Wednesday, and then the other report coming out for Friday, and mainly just a bunch of Fed speakers. So the data tomorrow is not going to be that heavy, not that crazy. But we could see some volatility, excuse me, thanks to these Fed speakers. So just be a little bit careful. And then in terms of earnings, we're going to be watching Airbnb later on today, Upstart, Robinhood, Lyft. I'll be going over Airbnb first, a little bit later on after the market closes for today. If you're interested in playing these, make sure you guys look these up. And besides that, there's not really much else coming up for Wednesday. For Thursday, we have DraftKings, Coinbase, and Roku. Those are going to be three interesting ones to be watching for, especially Coinbase. That's very, very fun to play. Now let's talk about SPY and the market. How are things looking? So SPY looks bearish right now on the 30 minutes time frame. And then on the 4 hour, we actually lost our 50 EMA, which is a bad sign. And we're continuing to sink towards this support right over here as we're getting close to this like 490 area. So SPY is looking bearish. We're continuing to lose our key supports. The critical supports, in my opinion, is going to be very close to 490. We'll have to see how well it holds in that range. If we close above it, it could attempt to get a little rebound since we have bounced off that area historically. But if we fail and we end up closing below it, it's going to be a bad sign. But regardless of where we are, if we do close where we currently are, it's going to be very, very weak. Not very good, especially for tomorrow. So look for this thing for when we close. We may close very close to where we are. SPY is showing a lot of weakness. Look for a little attempt right over here as we're seeing this entering the support right over here. And besides that, I mean, the chart looks weak. We're on this nice downtrend. This is favoring the bears, and we failed to get back above 494. For tomorrow, we have to see if we can try to get back above that resistance. If we fail to do so, we're going to continue to downtrend. So SPY is showing lots of weakness right now, especially thanks to CPI. So be very careful. Now for Tesla got this nice rejection off this resistance up here, especially after we got this nice inverse head and shoulders, this V-shaped recovery, big rejection, and back down Tesla goes. So very, very fun to trade. Right now, Tesla has lost 184, which is not the best of signs. We're barely holding around 182. This is the support I called out. I am seeing a potential bearish wedge that could be developing. Let me just double check this just for confirmation. So technicals on Tesla are looking a little bearish right now. We are forming like a bearish wedge, by the way. Not what you want to typically see. And this could lead to more downside. So it is looking a little bit more bearish to me. It's barely holding 182. If we lose this, our next target is going to be down to 180. So watch these levels carefully. We also have some critical support at 184, not to mention this range right above here around 187.5. But right now, Tesla's favoring the bears. it is what it is, guys. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And if we lose this support, there's going to be a risk of 180 coming. So please be careful going into tomorrow. Let's see where Tesla closes. Do we close in the 182s or do we lose it? Let's be very careful. It's looking kind of weak to me. On the QQQ, the QQQ is also forming a very, very bearish looking structure. Got this big rejection right here. We were supposed to hold 427. We actually lost that. So now it's heading towards 425. There was a big shop zone between 425 and about 430 as we went back and forth for about 3 straight days. So I think, in my opinion, especially as we're barely holding 426. So the QQQ is very unusual because like every dollar is acting as a support. We're trying to hold 426, but it looks like it's going to reach 425. So I do see a little bit more downside. The chart is favoring that. If we do try to rebound, watch 427.25 as resistance, followed by 429. But let me be honest, we look bearish right now. It looks bearish to me. You could see this liquidity zone that ended up getting grabbed right about here. So how this panned out was we got this breakdown, another grab of liquidity right over here, just under 432. They triggered stops at 430, then continued to sink this back down. And now it's approaching this support at 425. So it looks more bearish to me. This chart is just showing weakness. It tried to rebound and failed. We'll see where it closes. It might close between 425 and 427, but it's still looking weak. There's nothing changing that. And we'll have to see how we do tomorrow. 425 is key, so it's still holding up a little bit better than SPY, I would still say. But once again, guys, still be very, very careful. On Nvda, excuse me, guys, I apologize. Nvda, nice little rebound on Nvda, showed some life. But here's the issue with Nvda. If you look at the market structure, we were basically making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then since yesterday, this high has held. We made this new low. We broke the low from right here. We broke the lows that were made at this point. We also broke the previous resistance becoming support. We made a new low. And then we made a lower high. So this could be a signal Nvidia is about to downtrend. It's a possibility. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That means Nvidia might downtrend, but just to be safe, we'll wait for confirmation. So wait and watch 720 as resistance, 725. Then the top up here is going to be our next target at 735. And above that, you have 745 as resistance. If we break down, I'm going to be eyeing this 712 zone. If that fails us, 707 is coming, followed by 700. This is downtrending. It's starting to possibly downtrend. So Nvidia is showing some weakness. We could be looking at a little retracement back down to at least 712. So please be very careful, guys. We're seeing some weakness on Nvidia. It's dragging the QQQ down. The market is starting to turn, and the support is going to be key. Now, Nvidia is not dead. However, there's still hope for this thing to bounce. As long as we close above 700, we're going to still have life. So it's not the end for Nvidia. It's still in a decent place. But I do want to warn you of the retracement. Now, what about for Aapl? Like I said in my previous video, there's this head, a left shoulder here, the head and shoulders that was forming basically, right? The left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. And this is playing out. I mean, it was very, very clear. It played out very nicely. Nice rejection. And Nvidia is starting to sink. Watch resistance at 184, 185 to 185.5, and then 186.5. Watch support at 183.5. If you lose that, 182.5 is coming, followed by 181. So, in my opinion, there's a very good chance we're going to be testing 183.5 and potentially even drop to lower levels. Apple's looking bearish, looking very, very weak right now. It's been downtrending pretty hard, and there's no sign of a bounce yet. It hasn't even broken its resistance. So I'll be watching this and waiting for this move to change. But if anything, Apple's showing weakness. The head and shoulders is still panning out. We're going to be watching 183.5. If we lose that, 182.5 is coming. So that being said, the market is looking bearish, guys. It's looking weaker. We're finally getting this little retracement. There's no guarantee the market is going to crash from here, though, because we could always rebound later. But I do want to warn you that for now, the market's showing weakness and there's going to be a risk of more downside tomorrow. So just be careful. I want to give you guys a warning. This could just be a temporary pullback, or it could be the start of something bigger. The best thing to do is be patient and wait and see. But please be careful, everyone. CPI came in a little bit hot, and I want everyone to just watch your levels. Just a couple more. If you want to look at SoFi, big rejection. We ended up losing our key support at 8, and now our next target will be all the way down to 7.8, looking a bit more bearish. Palantir failed to get a clean break above that 25 resistance, and we got this nice rejection. If we keep sinking, 23.3 is coming, looking a bit more bearish. The Russell 2000 got a big smack down, was trying to push. Our next target is going to be down here around 192.5. I could see it sink a little bit more, looking a little bit weaker. For Coinbase is looking kind of weak, but it's trying to base at 140. If we lose 140, we're going to sink lower, but so far it's trying to hold up. So we'll see how it holds. It's showing some life because of the fact that earnings is coming up soon. So it's not as weak as other stocks. It already gapped down quite a bit. Now it's just kind of consolidating. So it's kind of stuck between the 50 EMA around 143 is resistance, and then supports on 136. So we're kind of stuck right now. We'll see how that goes. Google's looking a bit more bearish, and so are the others. So I'm going to just end it from here, guys. Please take care. Be prepared. Be mindful of what I told you. The market is still looking weak, and we'll see how things go after this. But with that being said, thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.